quote-unquote transfer.
Paladin?
So, Furman shut their program down years ago, and the 3 starting pitchers, their first 3, their weekend rotation, they're all in the World Series now.
That is nuts.
Yeah, so it's
I think a great trivia question.
I think 2 of them are with. I think they're all 3 in the world, but all 3 have had incredible careers where they ended up landing.
And I read, Mully, I don't know how true this is. I just read it, and I'm going to assume it's true because I saw it on the internet. A&M hit the portal pretty hard, and a lot of their firepower is coming from portal guys this year. Do you know that to be true? I mean, the point is that these bigger schools, just like football, basketball, are going to use the portal as an advantage. And Cliff Godwin is anti-portal, and a lot of that is he talked about how he had the best team chemistry ever this year. They want to keep that intact. Don't want to bring anybody to ruin that, the one bad apple. But, they're going to have to maybe here and there take a guy, but they're not going to be able to do it like these other teams are.
Well, right? And this is the same argument that's been made for forever about JUCO players. You either like them or you don't. It's almost like the JUCO guys became like a necessary evil. Like, man, we got to have a quick fix behind the plate. We need a guy that can come pitch in the middle of the rotation. That you weren't really getting your Friday night guy from a JUCO, but you were maybe a guy that could be a midweek starter, or even your Sunday guy or a bullpen guy. So I think you got to look at it very similarly. The wild card factor now is the NIL money and the money that's flying around. That a lot of folks felt like baseball would be somewhat insulated from that. But relative to the landscape, if you're looking revenue versus a non-revenue sport, which people, I hate to tell you, but baseball is a non-revenue sport. If you look at that, the money that's being spent in a non-revenue sport is pretty significant at a lot of places. And from my understanding, Texas A&M being one of those that does have pretty deep pockets from an NIL standpoint. But, Cliff has always been protective of the culture of the program, and I think that to maintain that, the integrity of that, you have to grow up in that culture. So, we obviously saw Terwilliger transfer in last year. You're gonna have those guys, and I think you're more likely to see them in isolated situations, maybe coming from a special set of circumstances, maybe an academic school. I think it's a different type of kid that you get coming in from certain other situations.
Well, here's some breaking news, Mully, that Igoe tweeted out 2 minutes ago. Carter Cunningham entered the portal, will be withdrawing from the portal and returning to East Carolina, according to sources.
Good.
All right.
I mean, good decision for him. I mean, I
thought it was odd the other day that when we asked Cliff about the guys in the portal, he said Carter Cunningham's 50-50, where usually I feel like that answer would be if you're in the portal, you're gone. So clearly he had some discussions with Carter, and they were in a good spot.
I think the key to Cliff's success, one of the keys, other than, obviously he's a great baseball mind, is his just overt honesty. You don't have to keep thick files when you tell the truth. And I think he is brutally honest with his guys. And maybe, I don't know, I have no inside knowledge or have not spoken to anyone, but I would guess that Cunningham came in for his end of year. They talked about it. Hey, if you want to test the water, see what happens, by all means do so. Don't have any doubts in your mind. But clearly Cunningham had done enough that Cliff felt like it merited giving him that option. So
you got to treat cases and people differently.
Yeah,
right?
But I think that's all driven by Cliff being just like, here's what we see, here's where we're now. The honesty of a coach is relevant to the time, right? Like, hey, Cliff, if we're having our end of the year conversation, Cliff, here's where I see you right now, blah blah. Now you can change all that if you go work harder, if you improve in the areas you need to improve, if you buy into what we're asking you to do. My opinion or your role on this team could change.
Yeah.
So, that may be, it may be, and again, I have no idea. It could have been a challenge to Cunningham to say, hey, man, we need you to do these things. If you're willing to do these things, we'd love to have you back. If not, then feel free to test waters.
Some big news there. So Carter Cunningham back in the fold, and he joins the likes of Lane Hoover and Mayhew and Spivey and Saylor, to use some pitchers as examples. And we'll see on Zach Agnos. Cliff said that he's got some USA baseball to play. Said something about big league teams looking at him more as a pitcher,
as
opposed, because I guess there's so many shortstops they can hit. I mean, Agnos did it. He lived on base in the postseason.
Yes, he did.
But there are a lot of those guys out there, apparently.
Well, and if you look at just the shortstop across the field in the super regionals, that body type, that skill set projects better from a professional standpoint, but he's nowhere near the college baseball player that Agnos is.
Faltini. And I looked up something on Twitter. It said me and some guys did our mock draft for MLB, and I was like, let me click on this, see if I recognize any names. And I saw that guy's name, and he hit a dinger and was pretty impressive. I saw Agnos play a lot, and I think Agnos is just as good as that guy, but clearly I don't have that major league eye.
No, I don't think there's any disagreement in where, matter of fact, I would take Agnos over him on my college team today. But when you look at the projectability of that kid with the arm strength and the speed, I mean, the dude had a bunch of errors that, double, maybe even triple the errors Agnos had. So just because you're a really good college player doesn't mean you have a chance to play in the big leagues. Just because you're a toolsy college player doesn't mean that you won't play in the big league. I mean, they're looking at it's penny stock, right? Yeah. They're looking at how much can we put in this guy and what's the return on the investment.
How about Mully when you coached and recruited? That feeling of a guy you projected and it came out you were right. This guy was something. You had to feel like $1 million, smartest guy in the room. And then how about the guy you thought was something you brought in that they couldn't do anything? That brought you back down to earth. Yeah. But that probably happened a lot, right?
It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
You hope you hit on more than you miss.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that you can't predict. I'll remember Steve Logan making a statement about recruiting, and I thought it was so appropriate. They were talking about where the football recruiting classes were ranked in the nation that particular year. And he said, that's like going to a farmer in Eastern North Carolina, take a handful of seed and go, this is the top 10 crop in the country when you don't know how much rain you're going to get. Is the farmer any good?
It's a good point. You do have a sample size of athletes, not the seeds. I guess if you go back to the previous year field and how the crop grew in that field,
and you could hope for all those things, but crops crops don't turn ankles, and crops don't tear hamstrings, and crops don't have bad elbows.
You get insurance on them if hail or
but I think the points that go in you're bringing 17, 18-year-old dudes into your program, and you hope they buy into your culture. You wouldn't have brought them in if you didn't think they were going to buy into your culture.
Crops don't have thousands of girls roaming around the field.
That's right. They don't mess up. They don't turn and they don't go downtown, and they don't and as far as kids going into the portal from East Carolina, man, it's not for everybody to be a Pirate. It's truly an earned privilege. But man, how could you leave this program after the year that just happened and the crowds that they were able to play in front of? Yeah, the postseason crowds are obvious, but the midweek crowds here are pretty freaking good, and even when the weather's bad.
If you think they're not good, just go to another school, right?
Correct. Go. Yeah, that's right. And I think there'll be some of that. That these guys will probably get to wherever their landing spot is and go. Hey man, and people move for different reasons. And I heard Cliff talking about the kid that was going to App State to play with his brother. I think that's a special situation where mom and dad can kind of go to one place. And
CJ Boyd.
Yeah, and if you're looking at App State versus East Carolina as far as who goes to what game, and you're going to opposite ends of the state. So now mom and dad can go one place. Maybe CJ goes into a situation where he becomes more of a feature guy, gets more playing time. He's young.
I wouldn't mind playing for Britt Johnson.
No, great great dude, right? Great dude. Kermit up there. They do a nice job, but he will never experience the atmosphere that he experienced in East Carolina unless Appalachian State comes to East Carolina in the postseason.
Yeah.
Because there's really nobody else in the state. Matter of fact, I don't know where the next closest place would be that could offer the environment that you get at East Carolina baseball.
South Carolina or Clemson.
Not right now. Not right now. And it's
Virginia Tech didn't do it. We saw that. They had good crowds, but nothing like here.
No, look, man, and again, Cliff helped build this.
Aaron Fitt put it up there with
Ole Miss, LSU.
Yeah,
it's the SEC.
So that's where it is.
It's the SEC is where you're going to find a similar environment. If that's the aggravating Whistler at Vanderbilt, or if that's the atmosphere at Arkansas is incredible. Ole Miss is incredible. So But man, I'd put this atmosphere right there with it. I mean, it's just a passionate fan base.
And no matter how many grass isn't greener stories you hear, you think your situation's different and unique because it is. It could work out. But I think about it with coaches, Mully, and you go back to like Eddie Payne, who went to Oregon State, and Bill Lewis, who went to Georgia Tech in football, and Skip Holtz. Now Lincoln Riley worked out because he hooked up with Oklahoma, ended up taking over as head coach now at USC. Now that one worked out from that standpoint, but there are more examples, at least with ECU, it seems like, that don't work out than do. But again, every situation is different.
And again, these kids all wish their best. You know, who's not going to follow Ryder Giles and see how he does? You know, I mean, who's not rooting for that?
I'll be rooting for him.
Yeah, and so he gets a chance to go out and again, maybe be a feature guy, maybe in a smaller environment, but that's he knows that. He's been around long enough. He's got to kind of make that decision. So, it's just such a special place to be, such a special place to play, fan base, coaching staff. It truly, I mean, it'd be a tremendous honor and a privilege to wear the purple and gold.
All right, Mully, we kept you kind of overtime. Still waiting on Wes to get those Chris Johnson return yards before you can leave.
Negative. I'm out.
See you, Mully. Thanks, man. Enjoyed it. Take us to break, Wes. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 2. Steve and Igoe, hour 3. We'll talk some Pirate football. A lot more to go. Back with you after this. And how about this? We'll also make you a winner coming up at the end of next segment. So stay tuned for that. More to go. Pirate Radio Live after this.
North Carolina State Parks is proud to announce that they have partnered with the Hometown Strong program. Our visitor centers are now equipped with public Wi-Fi to help kids with school. Remote learning has become a critical public health measure in maintaining social distance and continuing to educate our young people. Take advantage of Wi-Fi and a hike at Goose Creek State Park or a day trip to the beach and access remote learning at Fort Megan State Park. For more information, visit hometownstrong.nc.gov.
Pirate fans, get ready for a winning season and team up with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer and proud sponsor of the ECU Pirates. When you do business with us, you'll get things done right. We're proud to offer a large selection of new and used John Deere equipment, a fully stocked parts department, and a highly trained staff who is here to support you throughout the life of your equipment. So get quality done right before every ECU game day and visit QualityEquip.com.
Hey Pirate fans, this is Cliff Godwin. Summer is upon us, and I want to invite you to attend our CG23 Youth Camp here at East Carolina University. We will offer 3 sessions of camp. All camps will be held at Clark LeClaire Stadium, and campers will get baseball instruction from the ECU baseball staff and players. Campers will play games each day, and each camp ends with our famous Pirate Slip and Slide. Full day and half day sessions offered. For more information, visit CliffGodwinBaseballCamp.com. See you there, and go Pirates!
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medispa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations available. Visit us at beautybarmedispa.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
Welcome to US Cellular. Yeah, hi. I want a new phone for free, but not just any phone. I want the newest, fastest, most storage holding 5G unlimited data using phone in here for free.
Sure, your choice.
Really?
Yep.
At US Cellular, we put you first. So choose any phone from any brand free. Plus, get unlimited data for just $30 a month. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
We all love using Uber Eats, DoorDash, and grocery pickup. It makes life so much easier. Well, now there is cellular delivery, and the team at Cellular Warehouse has perfected the process. They will deliver your new phone right to your door with all your information loaded on the new phone. And the best thing is there is no charge for this awesome service. And you don't have to waste half the day sitting in a Cellular store. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051 and let his team of experts make your cellular delivery today. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent, serving all of Eastern North Carolina.
We have some exciting news at Angel Oak Home Loans. This is Talbot Green, and I would like to introduce you to the newest member of our team, Braxton Green. I've known Braxton his entire life because he's my nephew. He is also a recent ECU graduate and has lived in Eastern North Carolina his entire life.
This is Braxton Green, and I'm looking forward to working with you with your next home loan or refinance. Give us a call at Angel Oak Home Loans today at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250, Equal Housing Lender.
Lend a helping hand to children and families in your community and become part of our village. Currently serving over 5,000 children and families in North Carolina annually, Youth Villages helps children with emotional and behavioral issues and young adults aging out of foster care live successfully. You can become an ally today by supporting those in your community who need it the most. Go to youthvillages.org/North Carolina to make a financial donation today.
This is Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, Offense Coordinator for ECU Football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
This hour of PRL is brought to you by Tommy's Express Car Wash. Come experience the difference at Tommy's. Now open at the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road. Doesn't your car deserve it? Visit Tommy's Express Car Wash today. Now back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the program. Watch all of Pirate Radio's local programming on YouTube Live. Go to YouTube and search for Pirate Radio TV. And subscribe today. Watch Pirate Radio Live Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. And the Bud Light pregame tailgate and U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show during ECU football season. Just go to YouTube and search Pirate Radio TV and subscribe today. Now let's head back into the show. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, I want to do some trivia to get us fired up for tonight, 8 o'clock, A.J. Murphy. So we got a giveaway for you. And what's our giveaway today, Wes?
It is lunch for two at Tiebreaker.
Great spot to join to check out the College World Series, Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball, and of course, Chan Man will be there this football season.
Yes, sir.
Watching his Panthers play on Sundays
and losing.
But a great spot to watch sports and awesome food at the Breaker as well.
Absolutely,
fantastic menu, a lot of different things. So we'll give you, what was the lunch for two at Tiebreakers? All right.
Yes, it is.
Let's see if all right, let's ask. I'm gonna throw some questions out. Call in 317-1250, and if you haven't won this month, I want you to have cold feet. I want you to get in here and win this prize and show the world how smart you are when it comes to sports trivia. I'm gonna throw out a few questions, and you can just answer one of them. First one being, on this day in 1990, the Atlanta Braves replaced manager Russ Nixon with this manager. What Braves manager took over in 1990? He was the GM, and he went from the GM chair to the dugout. What Braves manager took over on this day in 1990? Call 317-1250 with the answer. If you don't know that one, which you should know that one, because he won a World Series. We got a call. We're going to put him on the air. So let's see if this person knows what Braves manager took over in 1990. Wes is getting the phone as we speak. Do you know it, Chandler? Do you know the name?
I think I do. I don't want to say it, though.
Okay. All right. We will see if our caller...
Is it the power of beer, sir?
Chandler throwing out hints. Wes having a conversation.
What'd you have for lunch tonight?
What you wearing? You can just tell me. Let's go. What you got? Who we got?
Steve Hendricks.
Steve. All right, we got Steve on. Hey, Steve.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Going great. Appreciate you tuning in and calling in. Do you know the answer, Steve? What manager took over for the Braves on this day in 1990?
Bobby Cox.
Bobby Cox is correct. Way to go, Steve. Hang on the line. Wes will get your information, and we will send out your tiebreakers to you.
Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. There. That's easy as pie. Steve, Bobby Cox, who was there.
My hint was the power of BC.
That was a good hint, Chan Man. I was going to ask this one, another baseball question. Pretty easy. But Ernie Banks ended how about this? 1961 on this day. Played 717 consecutive games. And, of course, he was famous for the Let's Play 2 catchphrase. Great day for baseball. Let's play 2. Ernie Banks, 717. Who has the record for most consecutive games played all time in Major League Baseball?
Is it Cal Ripken?
It is Cal Ripken Jr. That is correct, Chandler. 2 for 2 on his sports trivia today.
I'm ready for the night, baby. 8 o'clock, A.J. McMurphy's.
All right. This would have been a good one. I don't know if I would have got this or not, but I do remember watching this game and being excited about it as a 12-year-old boy. 1994, USA beat this country in round 1 at the World Cup in the Rose Bowl, Pasadena. First World Cup win since 1950. And Chandler, I'm going to show you the flag of that country. How well do you know your flags?
Not very well.
Yeah, this is it. So I'm going to show you the flag here. Do you know this flag?
Oh, boy.
I don't know if the camera can pick it up. Wes, do you know your world flags? What country is that?
That looks like
is that Argentina?
No.
Australia?
Argentina's got a blue flag, don't
No,
they?
that's
Australia definitely has a blue flag. Chandler, you need to go south. You need to go
go across
hotter.
the pond.
I don't know. I think we're just going down the pond.
Brazil?
No.
Africa.
All right, that is a continent.
Okay, now it's got to be part of the.
That's why you're playing Are You Smarter Than Wes? The answer is Colombia. Colombia.
That is not even South America. That's Central America.
There will be geography tomorrow on Are You Smarter Than Wes? In fact, there will be a Flags of the World category. Yes, sir. Coming up tomorrow.
Come on.
Really looking forward to that. And
you're on, Wes.
This is going to be a battle, folks. A battle to the death.
Hey, make sure you have a category for Disney. So we can work on that.
We're going to have Disney.
Well, that's a disadvantage to me.
All right, well, okay.
No. All you have to do is go online and do all your research you can about all the Disney parks, all their movies, you name it.
I'm not doing any research. I'm going in there cold-blooded, son.
Oh, my.
Hold on, let me check on something real quick.
You're setting yourself up.
Let me check on something because I received a text.
Okay.
West Colombia is in South America.
Colombia is in South America. Okay.
Sorry. You got a little too ahead of your skis, a little too excited there.
So Colombia is in South America.
Yeah.
I thought Brazil was in South America. That is the only country in South America.
You thought Brazil was the only country in South America?
Yes.
Why do they call it South America? Why don't they just call it Brazil?
Well, that's what because it's on that whole.
Okay, this geography category is going to be awesome tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to name, because there are a lot of countries in South America.
Okay. Oh, well, I mean, you got Chile and you got...
hey, why don't you Chile out?
I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Chile out.
Sorry, I was more dad jokes for you.
Yeah.
All right, Brazil is the only country in South America that speaks Portuguese.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Did you just say wrong in the middle of me talking?
No, I
did
was
he
wrong.
say that?
I think he did.
No, I was saying I was wrong.
Okay, but all you said was wrong while I was talking. Where Steve Hill, whose wife is from Brazil, says Brazil is the only country in South America that speaks Portuguese.
So Brazil does not speak anything other than Portuguese?
They don't speak American down there?
They don't do that?
I don't know.
I thought they were Spaniards.
Aren't they in Spain? What continent is Spain on, Wes?
That's in Europe.
All right. Well, we'll have geography. We'll have Disney. Chandler, you can request a category since Wes did. What would be your category?
I don't know.
Okay, fine. You don't have a category.
No, I won't have a category tomorrow.
Wow.
I thought he would. I thought he would be the first one to say music.
Can it be like ECU football?
All right. Yeah. So that'll be your requested category.
Yeah.
So far I've got a few categories. Man, that's going to be fun coming up in the 5 o'clock hour on Thursday.
It's just going to be nothing but people making fun of me and Wes. They'll be all right.
No, I think you'll get some answers right. Wes, you didn't have a great record, but you beat. Now, I don't want to speak ill on somebody, but did you beat Coach Mack, or did y'all have who'd you beat?
I beat.
You won a few rounds. Well, not a few.
Only one.
Yeah.
I only did one, and I cannot remember who was what his name.
You should remember that. If you remember Marty Schottenheimer, you should remember that. Wes did pick up a win, Chandler, so no pressure tomorrow. All right, we'll take a break, come back. We're talking running backs with Stephen Igoe from Hoist the Colors when we return hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. We're back with you after this.
Studio with Jeff Stein from Brown & Wood. What's new, Jeff?
You know, everybody's thinking we're having some inventory issues in the car business, which some of it's true. For used vehicles, Brown & Wood has a lifetime powertrain on every vehicle you buy from us, new or used. So even when you buy a used vehicle from Brown & Wood, you have lifetime powertrain. We cover the engine, transmission for as long as you own the car.
Brown & Wood, your #1 dealership in Greenville and the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Thinking about takeout tonight? Familia can make everything real easy for you with a great selection of Italian food and more. Visit FamiliaNC.com to see the full menu featuring pizzas, pastas, salads, and homemade desserts. Place your order online or call 689-6330, and Familia will have your order ready in their convenient drive-thru window for pickup. Finish up a busy day with a great dinner for yourself or your family from Familia. Familia on Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College.
Hey Chandler, what are you up to tonight?
Jenny, it's Tuesday, and I'm going to go sing with DJ Captain Morgan for karaoke at The Buck.
Well, that sounds like fun. I have to work. Well, what are you up to this weekend?
Well, believe it or not, I'm going to go listen to some live music Friday and Saturday night at The Buck.
Live music all weekend long, really?
Yep, all weekend, and they also have the biggest high-definition screen to watch all the sporting events on Sunday Fun Day.
I'm going to have to go check that out.
Yeah, just check out The Buck on Facebook or Instagram for all the information. The Buck.
UBE and PirateWear.com is excited to offer Pirate Nation the largest selection of new ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young pirates in to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking uptown in Greenville. Visit them at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Your office deserves a proactive tech support approach instead of always reacting to issues after the damage is done. You need BizCare. BizCare tech support and cybersecurity plans keep you ahead of potential issues and much safer from cyber threats like ransomware. What's at your office? Call William today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
It's bow time. If you look closely at a big, bold Bo's chicken sandwich, you'll see it's only made one way. The right way. Marinated, then hand-breaded with bold southern seasoning before being topped with not one, but 2 juicy pickles, creamy mayo, and a toasted bun. Woo! Ooh-wee. But don't look too close, or you'll just end up eating it, and we wouldn't blame you. Because, well, it is a sandwich after all. A show-stopping Southern specialty that can only be the Bo's Chicken Sandwich. It's Bo time.
Hey Pirate fans, did you know there are thousands of special needs children and adults right here in our community that loves ECU athletics as much as you do? Robbie's Clubhouse is a local nonprofit organization that can turn your unused ECU tickets into a fun day for a family with special needs. If you can't make it to the next Pirate game, simply call 1-800-DIAL-ECU and donate and designate your tickets for Robbie's Clubhouse. Go Pirates!
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the program. Live well, move more, and hurt less with Kinetic Physical Therapy. If you're recovering from an injury, getting back into sports, dealing with everyday pain or fatigue, then Kinetic Physical Therapy can help you get back on track and live well. Kinetic has a national certified therapist for physical, occupational, speech, and massage therapy, all in a state-of-the-art facility on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. Visit kineticptgreenville.com today. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's your host, Cliff Brock.
All right, welcome back into Pirate Radio.
Welcome in.
Live. Cliff Brock here with Stephen Igoe from Hoist
Cliff
the
Brock,
Colors.
yeah, from Pirate Radio.
Stephen's in one of those moods today, and we're in the mood to break down running backs and talk about what else is going on in ECU athletics. Igoe, first of all, let me ask how you're doing, because we are recording this ahead of time because you've got some adult stuff to do today.
Yep.
And also, I saw on Twitter, I guess, were you out at, is it Beast of the East?
Beast of the East.
And you talked about one particular wide receiver, and that receiver quote tweeted you and said, "Thank you, Mr. Igoe." Do you feel like you're getting old?
It's just really weird.
I really laughed loud when I saw that, Mr. Igoe.
Yeah, Mr. Igoe. I DM'd him after, and we had a conversation.
Cussed him out?
No, I was just like, you can call me Steven, man. Mr.
What a
Igoe.
polite young man. What's his name?
Larry Pickett Jr., I believe.
And he thank you, Mr. Igoe, and talked about his teammates, and sounds like a guy you want on your team. So
he was playing against my old alma mater, your old alma mater, D.H. Conley, which did not have the best outing at the Beast of the East. And he made a few great catches, really caught my attention. Yeah, him and then Chad Greer's Providence State team, which is just absolutely loaded with 4- and 5-star prospects. So a lot of good talent, a lot of good competition out there at the Beast of the East 7-on-7.
And you talked about some of the guys you saw out there, and including a guy we'll talk about in our running back preview, right? Mr. Gunn, was it?
Marlon Gunn, yeah. He's a big dude.
So we're going to overhype him coming up during our preview. But Igoe actually talked before I introduced him. We couldn't even officially introduce him into the show, but we will now, Stephen. So
thanks for having me, yeah.
Relax, enjoy your iced coffee,
yeah.
And we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Iced coffee with no coffee, or no ice.
Igoe. He's the one you know. I go. He's Big Boomer's bro. I go. He's good at MLB The Show. I go. Where did Chandler go? I go. I'm sitting right here, bro. I go. This song continues to grow. Dun, 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 dun. I go.
Can we just get back to the show?
I go. Hi, this is Mike Orozco. I go. Dave Doran lost to Coach Mo. I go. And we are back live.
Well done, guys.
Dave Doran lost to Coach Mo.
Not as good as Mike Oresco, but
all right.
There's another interesting garden.
We're gonna
is a great game.
It's gonna be tough to top that one, but we've got a lot of weeks to try to do it. So even the week we'll be off for July 4th, we will have to add a couple in there. So when Steven gets back, it'll be even another minute longer.
Just leave it the same.
Yeah, this might have been a bad idea by the time we get to August, September, but we're rolling with it now. It's one of my favorite bits we've ever done, just adding on to something. It's great. So,
what is do you guys have the official length of time of this intro song?
Now, there's a little music that plays after it, but how long does the clip say it is, Chandler, up there?
144.
144.
So
it just seems so long. Like in radio time, that's a long time. Like it's going to be the time of a full commercial break soon. And it doesn't look that long when you see 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But man, it is a long, grueling time.
People are going to cut on Pirate Radio, think it's a music station after a while. It's just going to keep playing the same song over and over.
Speaking of music, I wrote the lyrics out to Sympathy for Jeff Comfer to the tune of Sympathy for the Devil. And I think I'm going to bust that out here.
All right. Can't wait to hear that.
Maybe on one of the best of, since we won't be on Facebook and YouTube. I can actually play the music while I sing.
Right. We need to get B-Bays to give us a drop.
Stand by, Steven, because we've got the running back position preview coming up later on. But I really like this. I like talking about your favorites, folks, from years past. And put it out on... Last week I did Facebook and Twitter. This week I did Hoist the Colors and Twitter. And got some great discussion from your minions, Igoe, on their favorites of all time, and they answered the question. So let's run through some of those. First, I'll give you mine. I think I'm gonna say Tay Cooper's my favorite.
I
think I'm gonna say Tay Cooper because it was an underrated part of that Lincoln Riley offense, the run game. He had some big games, some big moments against North Carolina, against the in-state teams that were big. Had a big one in the bowl win, the only bowl win we've seen in a long, long time. And he wasn't like a great interview, but he was like interviewing like one of your buddies, like just a regular guy, old country boy. He'd give you the answers. He'd speak from the heart, give you the answers you needed. So Tay Cooper is my favorite, underrated. And this is probably a sentimental pick, but I think it applies. Brandon Simmons, just for what he did. He wasn't expected to be like a big-time D1 player. He came in as a transfer from, I believe, was it Elizabeth City State?
Yes.
And came in and was a big part of the offense when they needed him, when they needed some tough yards, when they needed some pass protection. And plus, it doesn't hurt that he's been a friend of the show since he played here. So I'll go Brandon Simmons there. Favorite play. This was brought up, and I'm not stealing it from anybody, but the 3rd and 28 draw to Breon Allen is probably the most ridiculous play I've ever seen because it looked like what it would look like if a team just quit on the other side. And North Carolina looked like bumbling idiots as Breon Allen on a play that you run just to not turn it over, just to be safe, turns into a touchdown, and the crowd goes wild. There are tons of Chris Johnson, Keaton Mitchell plays, but that 3rd and 28 is just one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Just a guy run through an entire defense on a play that is basically taking a knee. So that I'll use that one. And then opposing running back, I was at the game in West Virginia a long time ago with Nate Summers and Brock Letchworth, as they took me along when I was a student at East Carolina. And we saw KJ Harris, which everybody had a monster day. Chris
Sutton.
not Captain Chris Sutton. Chris Henry, R.I.P., had a big day for West Virginia that day. Pac-Man Jones scored a touchdown against East Carolina that day on a punt return. But KJ Harris...
What a team.
Yeah. I remember looking at them before the game and seeing like over half their roster was from Florida.
Yeah.
They did some Florida recruiting. Was that Rich Rod? I think it was Rich Rod.
Yeah, early Rich Rod.
Because then a few years later, so this
Bill
was
Stewart.
2004. And then by the time Bill Stewart was here, when was Skip's first year? 05? So this was 04. This was the game that ECU kicked off to start both halves.
Yes.
I was lucky enough to be at that one.
One of many fails of the John Thompson era.
KJ Harris over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an absolute rout. Kevin Roach did score a late touchdown. I remember that for some reason. Let's go through yours, Igo, throughout all the years.
Man, so many good running backs to choose from. But I'm going to go with Leonard Henry. There was just something about watching him run growing up. Like, he was huge, man. He was just a big physical running back. He kind of ran straight up and down. Like, you don't see a lot of running backs do that, and yet he was just extremely effective. Could easily be mentioned as the most underrated running back of all time as well.
Jeff Charles thinks so.
Yeah, I mean, and he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Just like Jeff Charles says, I mean, because he was that good. I mean, David Garrard got a lot of the attention, but Leonard Henry was a stud, and he was consistent.
All those good teams, Igo, where we talk about the passing numbers, we had a good running game and a good running back.
Yeah. I mean, Tay Cooper is probably right up there for the same reason that Shane Carden was so high for me, because that was right when I was starting to beat and interviewing these guys, getting to know them, and Tay was awesome. And
if he was a 4-year guy, he might be up there.
Absolutely. So, he's up there. Most underrated, I mean, there are several. I like the Brandon Simmons pick. Breon Allen could definitely be in that category because a lot of people forget how good he was that year after Cooper ran for 1,000.
Breon was very close to 1,000.
Yeah, 869, I believe, was his total, and he averaged like 6 yards per carry over his career at ECU, which is extremely good. You remember they're not going to be the answer, but this is one of my favorite memories. Torrance Hunt and Zico Pursuit year, where they were trying to.
I meant to bring up Zico for
just for giving it their all alone. He had a tight end and a corner playing a running back in 11, I believe.
It was like doing what Cliff Godwin did this year, baseball wise, just kind of putting guys in spots to try to put together a win for one Saturday. Don't even worry about next week. Yeah. Just we'll put Zico in for this play and see what happens.
It was bizarre. Yeah. I have to go with, somebody mentioned Art Brown, but I'm going to go with Dominic Lindsay. He ended up having a monster year in 2009, I believe. And he dealt with the injuries before that. A lot of people kind of written him off, and he came on strong that final year. Another guy that a lot of people forget about is Brandon Fractious. Early Skip Holtz era. He had a good day versus NC State in that win.
I got to tell you, I remember the name more than I remember him doing anything on the field.
He had some solid numbers if you go back and look, and he was part of that James Pinckney. He was one of the big running backs during that time, Brandon Fractious, James Pinckney.
Other than the Chris Johnson senior year, Skip really loved the committee and also loved the doghouse if you fumbled. So guys were in and out. He did whatever it took to win a game, not to pad a running back stat. So we had so many guys in that era, and I was looking through the answers. We're going to see some of those names from that same time frame that we hadn't even mentioned yet, right? Because there were so many guys in and out. So
they had a lot of good running backs, and they ran the ball a lot, so it made sense. Favorite all-time play? I mean, that's tough, but probably Chris Johnson's kick return against Southern Miss in the overtime win in the James Pinckney era. That was one of his signature moments before his senior year. And I remember Carter Blackburn was on the call. Johnson to the outside. Johnson's got a chance to break it. And that was one of the first times we saw his electric speed.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his senior year, he had the Hawaii Bowl run, and then he caught a screen versus UNC where he just left guys in the dust. So
that was a screen where you give your blockers time to get out there. You sit behind them. He just outran.
He ran everybody.
It was
ran past everybody.
Unfair. It was really unfair. Chris Johnson has
So basically any Chris Johnson play.
Pretty much. And we'll talk about a lot of those when we look at responses. All right, Igoe, you've been to a ton of games now, so tough to pick one, but does a running back performance stand out against ECU?
Man, that's the thing. There are so many. Somebody said Ramon Davis from Temple, I think it was that Thursday night game, he just kind of ran through ECU in 2019. Marlon Mack, I don't know if he's been mentioned in South Florida. He had a huge day. He had back-to-back 100-yard games in 15 and 16 for South Florida. And ECU kind of hung around in both games, but he had some big runs to kind of put that thing away. I mean, the Navy guys, I don't even know if you can count them as running backs. They're just machines out there.
We got to be the only people that still talk about Alexander Teach.
Yeah, I mean, we could have our own fullback.
Maybe we'll do that next week.
We'll just have our own fullback show where we just talk about Alexander Teach. He's not a running back, but Malcolm Perry for Navy's quarterback, he basically was a running back playing quarterback. Just seeing him field level slide off, because I was taking pictures that day. I've never seen a guy who was tougher to tackle. I swear he greased up his entire body because ECU would have him just wrapped up, and he would just scoot or slide, slither, however you want to describe it. He would just fall forward off 3 or 4 guys, 6-7 yards. It was an incredible display of athleticism.
I just thought of one too, and this was not super impressive. It was the most frustrating thing ever. But how about the one particular drive by Mike Davis for South Carolina, completely killing an entire quarter's clock by just running 3 yards and getting the first
yards
down
up the middle. And we saw Marcus Lattimore, but I feel like ECU did a pretty good job multiple times against Lattimore.
I remember D'Angelo Williams killing us. I feel like one of the main times was on the road. He might have done it at home, and I might have seen it live, but I don't recall it. So I know he used to torture us at Memphis.
There was a Southern Miss running back who I can't remember his name, but he was just this little shifty dude, and I don't know if he ever had a huge game, but he just was always a pain in the ass. Can I say that?
You did.
All right.
We're recorded, so we could beep it. It might be funnier if we beep it.
3rd and 5, they would just throw a swing pass to him, and you'd have him wrapped up. Maybe somebody can come in with his name.
UCF had some good backs. Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith was a problem.
And had others who don't come to mind right now. Chan Man, would you like to give your answers?
Nobody mentioned, by the way, Steve Slayton, who another West Virginia running back.
I was not, but that was at West Virginia. Yeah. I'm sure he went off.
Because ECU did pretty well against Noel Devine.
Noel, yeah. They had some fun players that ECU made look not fun because of the defense. All right, Chandler, you want to give some answers? Favorite?
I'm gonna have to go Chris Johnson. That was about the time a young Chandler was in Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium watching him catch a screen pass against TJ Yates in the Carolina.
The eye of Pam Brock.
By the way, that game, Yates to Nix, Yates to Brandon Tate.
Yeah.
Just so many explosive plays in that game. That was that ended on
an awesome game.
Last-second field goal.
In that 07 season, he was returning kicks for touchdowns. He was breaking them off against UCF on that in a night game in Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. Most underrated, I might go Breon Allen.
Okay.
Just really liked how he ran the football, and then I didn't even think about this, but I'm going to steal a lot of people's answers for this one. The 3rd and 26, 3rd and 28 against Carolina to
that was the
break
final
the roof
nail
off of Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. Because everybody in the stadium's all right, just get about 4 or 5 yards.
All right.
Don't fumble the football.
If I go get a drink now, by the time I come back, they would have punted and Carolina, be a TV timeout.
Yeah, it was the weakest display of defense I've ever seen. Guys for UNC were running 30 yards down the field, not even looking at the play. I don't know what they were doing. It's almost like they had thrown the game there.
I know. It looked like they were trying to lose.
Yeah. And there was, not to cut you off, Chandler, but the year prior in Chapel Hill, I remember doing the Ruff McNeil Fantasy Camp, and there was a play where there were only 9 UNC defenders on the field.
Jeez.
And Ventavious Cooper had a 30-yard run, and they were going over, Lincoln and Donnie were going over the film, and they were like, now what do you guys think made this play successful? He's like, all right, let's count the number of UNC guys. And he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
So they were like so confused and just a gash because they were down 2 guys, 30-yard run in that blowout in Chapel Hill. So that's another play that not many people will remember.
Making fun of Carolina's defense, always fun.
I'm for some honorable mentions for the underrated running backs. I'm going to have to go with some Sampson County guys. Brandon Simmons from Hopton, Leonard Henry from Clinton. Leonard Henry being second in rushing all time, beast, and still not in the Hall of Fame.
What are we doing?
Like y'all said earlier. Oh, Jeff Charles is
he's right. Though.
I'm beating that drum. I'm beating that drum, and I've been beating it for a long time.
He should have been in 5 years ago, man. He played in the NFL. He was pretty good.
Yeah, I'll mention those guys because Brandon Simmons. It was split between. I mean, he was behind Chris Johnson, and then 2008, it was like him and Dominic Lindsay. What's the next one?
You already did play. You've done like 3 in the wrong order. So
I'm going to go. All right, I'm going to go.
But now you got to do the opposing running back.
And see that I'm going to go as a whole team. Navy putting up 521 yards. I was at that game. Stayed the whole game. I have got the T-shirt from that game.
You've worn it here to the studio.
Yeah. I've got that T-shirt. 521 yards on the ground for Navy.
T-shirt.
It's a sleep shirt.
Why is there a T-shirt from that game? That's a better question.
Who sold it?
It was military. I think the ROTC was selling them.
Oh, okay.
You have Alexander Teach with 157 yards rushing. Ricky Dobbs,
3 carries.
Ricky Dobbs, 100 yards. Chris Proctor, 78 yards. Vince Murray, 68 yards. G.G. Green, 47 yards.
What's the yards per carry do you have?
Oh, God.
11.2 for Teach, 5.9 for Dobbs, 15.6 for Proctor, 8.5 for Murray, 7.8 for G.G., 13 for John Howell. Yeah. I mean, and there's Bo Snelson with 25 yards. I mean, everybody got into the act on this day. 521 yards on 62 carries, 8 touchdowns, and the longest was 64. I'm going Navy.
It was just like watching the Red Sea part on that fullback dive with the middle, man. Like nobody. The saddest thing was he wasn't even breaking tackles. He would just he would just take a handoff and just scamper his little feet
right
up the middle.
By Josh Smith, right by Mikael Brooks.
Nobody would touch him.
Singling out Josh Smith. We'll have to ask him about this game next time he comes in the studio.
He was on that field.
All right. Let's get to some other answers, and we'll run through these, and I'll say if we haven't mentioned them as one of the answers. Berg Pirate says Dominique's his favorite. Here's an example. What I was talking about. Giovanni Ruffin, most underrated, another guy in that Skip era. Did he go over to the...
Yeah, he went 1 year Skip, 1 year Ruff, because he was on the 2010 team along with Jonathan Williams.
Did he have a touchdown against State?
He had a touchdown.
He had a touchdown in a big game.
Houston.
Who was this?
That's what I was thinking of. Giovanni.
Yeah, the dive at the pylon. Yeah,
in the rain. That was a pretty awesome touchdown.
And Berg mentioned the Davis guy from Temple. I must have blocked that one out. I don't remember that one at all.
It was good.
Pirate 100 has Scott Harley as his most underrated. He has Rice at ECU. He said Rice had their very own Rudy. I don't recall that.
I don't recall
was
that.
Was he like 5'5", 5'6", running back?
I guess so. But
Rice used to run the triple option. I'm guessing it was after then. Because I kind of vaguely remember a white running back for Rice. I remember Jarrett Dillard.
Oh, yeah.
The receiver.
Do remember him. Dover Pirate, his opponent is Darrell Henderson. Now a Ram
for the Memphis.
Said he could not be tackled, and he felt very sad that day in 2018.
Because that was a pretty good game. That was one of the games late in the Scotty Moe era where it was like, hey, we got a shot to beat a pretty good team. If you win this game, it kind of changes your outlook on making a bowl game, and they just couldn't stop them. Because remember, that whole year it was like the defense was playing well, but the offense wasn't. And then they got to that game, Holton, and that was the Snead game.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the final score ended up being like 58-40 something. But they just couldn't stop that Memphis offense.
Velvet Kramer, Owen goes with Coop. Everything Coop.
Owen in Tampa.
He's a Coop guy. Widespread Pirate, Tony Collins is his favorite. Anthony Collins, as he was known then. Junior Smith, so he's a bit of an older Pirate.
I mean,
his most underrated.
Anthony Collins.
We hadn't even mentioned Ernest Biner.
Yeah, like I was about to say, like Scott Harley, Tony Collins, Junior Smith, Crump. Like
that's
there's
just
a
an
lot of
age
good running
thing
backs.
for us.
Yeah. There's just so many good running backs that haven't been mentioned.
And Kelvin Bryant from North Carolina also played for the Redskins. 6 touchdowns, 228 yards in 1981.
All right.
Glad I was not at that one. Right before I was born, Igoe. Yakin has only been here one season, so his answers are Keaton Mitchell, and Keaton Mitchell versus Tulane.
I mean, there's a chance if Rajay and Keaton continue on their current path, depending on how long they play, they could easily go down as one of the best running backs. I think a lot of it depends on how this season and next season goes, but a lot of it is tied into your team success. Like if ECU goes on to win a conference championship, all of a sudden guys like Holton Ahlers, Keaton Mitchell, Rajay go from good players to like Pirate legends.
I probably shouldn't even mention that Rajay is my favorite player because Brandon Suggs and Ryder Giles transferred out.
You probably shouldn't.
Okay, I won't. But really enjoyed talking to him, getting to know him last year. Let's see. G Vegas. Jamie Wilson, our first D.H. Conley product. Jamie Wilson mentioned, who was big in the Miami win in Raleigh, and he's looked at as most underrated. Let's see. Leonard Henry is Chris's favorite. Carl Lester Crumpler would be now BCP just has listed names 1, 2, 3, so I don't know what he's getting at here, but he listed a couple names we don't have. Carl Lester Crumpler and Jarris McPhail. Mention those names.
North Carolina stand up.
Theo Sutton for Asheville Pirate. Hip. Now these are the people that just can't follow directions, but I'll read it anyway. Willie Hawkins. I'm not familiar with Willie Hawkins. Yeah.
No idea who that is.
Pirate Tigers' favorite play is every run by Scott Harley against NC State in 1996. Let's see. Any other names? Cedric Van Buren is most underrated, according to Pirate Rep. I agree.
Looking up Willie Hawkins' stats, he played from 1974 through 1977 at East Carolina. 344 carries, 1,754 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns. So
all right, Willie
Hawkins, pretty damn good running back.
Shout out to Willie. Pirate Coastie's favorite play, Igoe, is Jonathan Williams running over West Virginia defenders.
Power!
Holy cow!
Just powered his way in.
Mike Patrick is still at the old folks' home right now talking about that play with all of his bunkmates. Holy cow.
Todd Blackledge is still eating Bee's barbecue.
He's still there, folks. He is 500 pounds right now. Somebody go help him out. All right, let's see. Any other names? Parker Pirate. One of my classmates at ECU, Art Brown, is his most underrated running back.
So I looked up an article, or I looked up ECU running backs all time. I come across a old Hoist the Colors article. Hoist the Colors, ranking the best East Carolina running back since 2000. This was published June 27th, 2017.
Igoe, list all the names in order.
Coming in at 7.
That's a great question.
Jonathan Williams.
Holy cow.
Just powered.
Number 6 is Marvin Towns.
Oh, whose name has
Marvin
not come
Towns
up.
ahead of Jonathan Williams.
I remember, Igoe, a cover of a program in the Thompson era where we were promoting our 1,000-yard backs because we had Towns and Brown. And was there another one? It might have just been them two. But anyway.
Number 5, Art Brown. Number 4, Dominique Lindsay. Number 3, Coop. Number 2, Leonard Henry. And then, of course, number 1, Chris Johnson.
Breon snubbed. Just kidding.
Wait. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I brought up this article because
top
Marvin Towns was not mentioned at all.
Yeah,
top 3.
Right.
What's top 3?
Chris Johnson.
Coop, Henry, Johnson.
Okay. I feel like Marvin Towns had a low-key good career. He's played some bad teams. I'm looking at his stats.
He had at least one 1,000
What
yard
you wrote
season.
about Mark Towns. Marvin Towns, sorry. A talented rusher, Towns played for the Pirates during a tough era from 2001 to 2004. But he had his moments. The speedster rushed for 1,793 yards over his 4-year career, including a 1,128-yard, 8-touchdown campaign in 2003. Towns added 36 grabs for 249 yards in the air over his tenure as a Pirate.
I was going to say, did he have a lot of receiving yards this last year? Because he played 10 games and barely touched the ball. So
yeah, I think
maybe he wasn't a Thompson guy.
Injured.
I don't know.
But he had a 1,000-yard season under Thompson in 03.
Okay. His first, Thompson's first year. All right, let me run through a couple others here, see if we have any names that we have not brought up yet, and then we'll get to the current Pirates. Igoe and I talked about before the show, we actually like doing this more than talking about the current players because it's fun to look back, fun to talk about. All right, Buck Wild's favorite is Rajay Harris. Let's see, any other names? Oh, I love this one. This is before y'all's time. But one of the great names, Napoleon Kaufman, played for the Raiders. He was drafted really high. I think he flamed out in the NFL, but he played for Washington. And he said, he didn't even see it live. Pirate R, you phony. But he said Napoleon Kaufman is still running the ball against ECU in the early 90s. Love that name. Let's see. Any other names?
Norman Whitley.
Michael Dobson getting a mention. All right.
Oh, Norman. Did you say Norman Whitley?
Norman Whitley and Brandon Simmons are Wayward Pirates favorites. I do have a bone to pick here, though.
With
Chris Hairston as underrated. Igoe and I, how many years
to hype up Chris
did we
Hairston.
come in here and say, is this the year Chris Hairston gets 1,000 yards?
4 years.
We did it for every freaking year. And I liked him. Great guy. Fun to talk to.
I remember him coming in for Breon Allen in the bowl game in Birmingham, and I remember thinking, like, all right, he's going to be the guy next year running the ball and getting 1,000 yards.
And, he would crush it against FCS teams.
Towson. He
ran
had a
all
long
over Towson.
touchdown run against Towson.
And we were like,
here we go, baby. I was like, Chris Hairston.
I wanted him to be really good.
Well, he had an offer from Wisconsin, so I was like, if Wisconsin's out here offering running backs, they got to be good.
Yeah. Ron Dane, Monty Ball, Chris Hairston.
James White.
Darrell Scott from Maryland. Or did he say his name different?
Darrell? I don't remember that. I just remember Torrey Smith toasting our boy Spider-Man.
I
remember the quarterback talking crap for that game, too, and then he backed it up.
All right, Tony Baker mentioned as an underrated guy for Blackheart. And I'm seeing if there's any other names.
Has Ernest Bonner been said?
I said it briefly, but you gotta go back. So
gotta go back.
A lot of maybe younger.
Mark.
Ira Pirate says Eddie Hicks. I promise you this: line him up with any other ECU back in a sprint, and he would do well. He was Chris Johnson before Chris Johnson. All right, that's cool.
There was Eddie Hicks that also had a pick six versus ECU in that Southern Miss 06 game, where Chris Johnson also returned the kickoff for a touchdown.
That's a great stat, Igoe. That's why
because I've seen the highlights of that game on YouTube at least 600 times, and Carter Blackburn's like, Eddie Hicks down the sideline, Eddie Hicks will go.
Every time I hear Carter Blackburn, I think of Pete Gillen because they always did basketball games together, and he'd always say, Carter, I tell you, Carter, they got to go to the zone here, Carter. Hey, Carter.
Such a dynamic duo because, like, two very distinct voices.
I love Pete Gillen, and I say that unironically. I legit am a huge fan. And when Rex Chapman said he passed away, it really broke me up for a week.
You were one of two people.
Has Junior
really
Smith been said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking at Twitter now to see if any names. Sean says, always remember Andre Brown, NC State overtime game. I don't know. I can't remember if he had a big game, but he had the nail in the coffin. So.
And got in front of the camera and was like, that's for you, Greenville. That's not what he said, but that's probably what he was.
What did we ever do to you, bro? Paul Palmer.
I don't know how. That's before my time, I'm guessing.
Is that Temple? Paul Palmer.
I remember Doug Palmer.
You know why I know this? Because Jeff Charles had him on his show when he was an analyst for Temple, and he played in 1987, played in the NFL. But I guess Paul Palmer, back when he played, had a big performance. And this is Mark, who's a Philly guy, so he would know.
Paul Palmer.
JMU's Cardin Johnson in 2017, according to Adam Parker.
That entire team. I mean,
good answer there.
That was that's why Mike Houston got the job in Greenville.
Great audition for Mike Houston to come in here and just kick our ass.
That was another one of the Red Sea parting games because they would just dive up the middle and nobody would touch him.
All right, we've been going 30 minutes uninterrupted, so we got to take a break. Sorry, this one got out of hand.
This was a good segment, though.
It was. We'll take a break. We'll come back. When we return, we will preview the 2022 ECU backs.
For 2 minutes.
We will do it quickly. Lightning round when we return after this.
Winslow's Deli is now Fifth Street Hardware, restaurant and tap room. With a brand new look, Fifth Street Hardware also has a brand new menu, serving lunch and dinner every Tuesday through Sunday, and brunch starting at 10:30 on Sundays. What else is new? Well, how about poker every Tuesday night and Trivia Wednesday with DJ Captain Morgan? It's a new look and a new name, but the same great location on Fifth Street beside the State Theater. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for specials and events. Fifth Street Hardware Restaurant and Tap Room.
Did you know time spent outdoors can help improve your children's health and bring balance to their life? The Outdoor Heritage Advisory Council invites you to join the Patch program. This program is for any child under the age of 16 and includes activities like fishing, hunting, and hiking. These are just one of the many ways you can earn the exclusive patches from the Outdoor Heritage Council. For more information on how to sign up and get your adventure started, visit outdoorheritage.nc.gov.
I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have kept the fires burning for Eastern North Carolina Whole Hog Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out wood-fired meats, cooked fresh every single day. There are no freezers at our place. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Stop in and see us, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. At Sam Jones Barbecue, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors.
Hey Pirate fans, Derek Pizzeni from Carolina Wealth Management. Are you a fiduciary? That's a question every investor should ask their advisor. A fiduciary is an individual who acts in the best interest of a particular person or beneficiary. Is your advisor a fiduciary? You should know it's your money. At Carolina Wealth Management, we do things differently from other investment firms. To learn more about the benefits of working with a fiduciary advisor, visit mycarolinawealth.com. That's mycarolinawealth.com.
Wings Over delivers. Wings Over delivers. Wings Over delivers. If you're looking for wings to be delivered to your home, Wings Over Greenville has you covered with no third party needed. Wings Over Greenville has its own in-house delivery service. Be sure to try the all-new tender sandwiches by ordering ahead on the Wings Over mobile app. Open till 3 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, Wings Over has everything to cure those late night munchies. Give them a call at 758-9464. Wings Over Greenville. They deliver.
This isn't your regular cola, so this isn't your regular cola ad. No beach parties or family barbecues here, just Nitro Pepsi, the first cola ever infused with nitrogen. So forget everything you thought you knew about soda, because that nitrogen gives us a whole new experience. Think an infusion of smaller bubbles for a cola that's got a lighter, smoother texture. And don't get me started on the pour. You don't pour this like any other cola. We're talking turn the can completely upside down and watch as those bubbles cascade into the glass to create a frothy, luxurious foam topping. Can your cola do that? I didn't think so. Unless you've got your own Nitro Pepsi, in which case cheers to your great taste. Because you already know that the only thing better than the pour is the unapologetic cola taste. What else is there to say? From the creamy foam to the smooth texture to its unbelievably delicious flavor, this is cola like you've never had it before. Time to bring your taste buds to the next frontier. New Nitro Pepsi. Smooth, creamy, delicious.
I can't think of anyone who doesn't love a clean car, but how often do you actually go to the car wash? Does it take too long, or maybe it's just not a very nice place? Tommy's Express changes everything. Our wash is bright, inviting, clean, and fast.
I love the flat conveyor belt. So easy to pull onto, much smoother ride, and safer for my car.
And when you join Tommy Club, you can wash as often as you like for one low monthly price.
I save money and time.
We're Tommy's Express.
At the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road, Greenville.
This is CJ Mayhew, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the show. To get the business services that are right for your business today, contact the team of experienced local bankers at First Bank. The team includes bankers you can trust like Ashley Capps, Lee Watson, Bonner Latham, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nesbitt. First Bank, together with their customers, they're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive. First Bank, Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. Now let's head back into PRL. Here is your host, Mr. Clip Brock.
All right, back with you, Pirate Radio Live, Hour 3 of today's program. Stephen Igoe alongside. We talked a long time about just a couple old men talking about the glory days, old running backs for East Carolina. And thank you for chiming in on Twitter and Hoist the Colors. Next week, we will talk wide receivers. So start to run through some of those old wide receivers and those big brains of yours that you guys have.
17.
I know what receiver you're going to say, Clip Brock.
88.
17 all day.
17
the playmaker.
All day, every day.
Most underrated, Lance Lewis.
Stop, Igoe. we got to get to this year's running backs. All right, we have a 1,000-yard rusher for the first time since Coop did it all those years ago. Keaton Mitchell, 1,000 yards last year, part of the 1-2 dynamic duo, Rajee Harris and Igoe. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The coaches could not have written a better, well, maybe they could have written a better script where they went 12-0 and had two 1,000-yard rushers. So I take that back. But to have those guys healthy and to use them at nearly a 50-50 split was awesome last year. It can't happen 2 years in a row, folks. It can't.
We said last year it can't happen, and it happened.
So let's watch it happen again. But things went the way the coaches wanted it to last year, and Mitchell and Harris. Mitchell had the monster year. Harris had a good year, too, though, in year two.
Yeah, it was – both the guys had good years. I think, Harris, production-wise, for whatever reason, he saw his yards per carry average slip from 4.9 to 3.5, which is, pretty substantial. So – it just feels like he's going to come back stronger this year. We know Keaton's going to have some hype, and I really think both backs, though, they complement each other so well. I mean, it's really the ideal setup. You obviously you want the star running back, but if you can have two really good running backs, you'll take that any day, and that's what ECU has. And it's just a perfect setup. And these guys were recruited by Coach Houston to come in here and fulfill this role. I don't think we saw them doing it right away, like they have as freshmen and then as sophomores or as second-year freshmen, because both guys still have 3 years of eligibility left. But, I mean, it's going to be a pleasure to watch. I hope people understand how good these two backs are.
And I wanted to ask you about this. So Rajee was pretty highly recruited, or at least I remember his name because we talked about him a lot, partly because I called him Rajee Davis, former A's outfielder for about 3 months. But I remember his name, whereas I don't remember Mitchell's name during recruitment. Is that how it was?
Yeah, I would say Rajee was the more prominent name. But both the guys had several offers, and what happened was a lot of the bigger offers they had, those schools ended up taking other backs, and so really those offers weren't committable anymore. Harris was rated higher, probably got a little more attention. Keaton Mitchell played for Eagles Landing, which is a really good program, but it's a smaller school, so sometimes there's some question as to how those guys will translate. Like, he ran for something ridiculous, 2,000 yards his junior and senior season, but it's all right, he's playing against some teams who aren't that good. How's he going to translate? Well, translates pretty well. Rajee played for Burns in South Carolina, which is one of the premier programs in the state of South Carolina, so he was well known, and he had a ton of attention. And I think, for whatever reason, South Carolina showed a lot of interest in him, but never quite pulled the trigger. And now they did Clemson, so they went in other directions.
All right, we know about those two guys, and looking forward to seeing them again. It sounds like Pop McKay, and this comes from Mike Houston, that he has been given an opportunity to be that third back, and now it's up to him to take it. At least that's how it sounds, right, Stephen?
Yeah, I feel like Is
it a practice thing?
I think it's a practice mindset thing. He's gotten plenty of chances now. I mean, he had basically all of last fall to establish himself as the third guy. There was no other scholarship back on the roster They brought in Lorenzo Dorr from West Virginia, but he was a preferred walk-on transfer. So, to me, Pops had the opportunities this spring. He had all the number 2 and 3 reps, basically, because the only other backs were walk-ons or Nemo Squire, and Nemo missed the entire spring pretty much with an injury. So he's had now 2 semesters to really hone in on, hey, this is the offense, this is what we expect from you, this is your opportunity. As we'll talk about in a minute, I'm sure things are about to change there. But, yeah, I think the ball's in his court. You know, he's clearly got talent. He was recruited at a high level. He's just got to earn the trust of the coaching staff.
All right, well, let's talk about some other names that are going to be in this room. Camaro Edmonds, who folks around here remember watching on Friday night highlights when he played at Havelock. He ends up going to North Carolina, but now back in Eastern North Carolina as a Pirate, Stephen. And what are his chances to see the field in 2022?
I think they're very similar to Pops and, you know, the other guys we'll talk about, in that it's wide open. I mean, it's whoever performs the best in practice is going to win the job. Similar to McKay, Edmonds has a leg up in terms of he's been in a college weight training program for a year. Now, I'm very interested to see what type of shape he reports in for preseason camp. I have not laid eyes on him thus far since he made the move to ECU. I do remember in high school I saw him going in his junior year at Havelock, and he was pretty. I mean, he was smaller in terms of like his frame, but he was ripped. And then he gained around 20-25 pounds over COVID. And, you know, not that it was all bad weight, but it was just one of those things where he showed up a little bit bigger to UNC than expected. And so I think they got to find that happy medium in terms of where is he most explosive and powerful as a running back. And if he can do that, he's definitely got the potential to be a factor quickly and then long term, of course, too.
Stephen, I go hoist the colors here. Chandler, hit the intro. I'm doing a bad job of intro, so let's just go ahead and hit this right.
What's your favorite position? Running back. That's cool with me. It's not my favorite, but I'll do it for you.
My apologies, everyone, for
running back.
To do that.
I didn't want to interrupt y'all's conversation, but I was about to be like, hey, how about the position song?
Chandler, that would have been a good interruption. You got to know the difference between a good and a bad interruption. So give me that good interruption next time.
Hey!
Hey, man!
You missed the song!
Igoe. I'm carrying a concealed weapon under the table. You know what that weapon is?
A Marlin gun.
It is a Marlin gun to shoot marlins with when I go fishing with Bryce Williams. Marlin gun. Who is this guy? You're going to overhype him and get me excited about him, so go ahead.
Well, he's got a great name. I mean,
I know.
Marlin Gunn Jr.
I mean, Nemo, Pop, Camaro, Gunn. We got the all-name team in the running back room.
There's no doubt. Marlin Gunn, perfect Pirate name. Louisiana kid, so he probably likes some fishing.
So he's Louisiana. So we got Edmonds, North Carolina, Squire Harris, South Carolina, Mitchell, Georgia, McKay, Bama. We got the whole South covered.
Yep, the whole South, the whole name.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's a really diverse running back room in that term. So,
all right, Gunn. So what are his specifications? Freshman?
Yeah, he's a freshman. Never mind. 6 foot. 200 plus pounds. He is built well. I saw him out at the Beast of the East. Said hey to him. I've interviewed him before, but he's got some guns on him. I mean, he's rocked up. He doesn't look like your normal freshman, and he just seems very laid back. And I think he's like not overconfident, but he's going to come in expecting to compete. Like he's not scared of anything. I feel like he's just a gamer, and you never know how guys are going to translate to the college level, but I'll be surprised if it is overwhelming for him like it is some freshmen.
So you wouldn't be shocked if he is a riser. We always have those risers during fall camp.
Yeah.
He could be like, wasn't Keaton Mitchell, when did he come on the scene?
Preseason camp.
Of his freshman year, yeah. Right? That's the first time I remember really hearing his name.
Because I think Rajay was in for the spring, even though they didn't have a spring, so he was kind of familiar, whereas Keaton came in and just started ripping off like 75-yard runs in practice.
Did we still have Penix at that time?
Yep.
Okay, so he was going to be the guy. Rajay kind of took his spot, and then Keaton Mitchell jumped up.
I think it was the SMU
game.
Chase
Hayden too.
That last game of the regular season, Keaton Mitchell kind of, for me, I remember kind of noticing him.
Oh, yeah, he had an awesome game because Rajay was out that day.
Oh, yeah.
And Keaton was really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. God, there was somebody else in that running back room, I feel like, because it was Penix, Chase Hayden, and somebody else, and then Rajay and Keaton. And I just feel, it was Trace Christian.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, by the end of the year, all those guys were irrelevant because Rajay had to come on the scene and Keaton was making plays.
And Rajay and Keaton are so established at this point, but just talking about that makes me think that one of these guys can step up and get some time because Mike Houston likes to let the guys earn it at practice.
For sure. I just think like we talked about earlier, you can't realistically expect, I guess is the best way to say it, to get through the year with just using two backs.
Sure.
Like last year was an anomaly, and they need to get a third back ready, which is why they brought in Edmonds, which is why they're bringing in Gunn, trying to get McKay to come along. I mean, really, you need four guys you feel good about.
Yeah.
You can lose two running backs in one game.
And credit to the coaches. They are preparing as if they have to have all these guys, and it's good to see Pop back because there was a lot of hoist the colors conversation last year, Igoe, and other places about Pop McKay potentially not being here this year. So
that's how it is with the portal, man. Any guy who's highly recruited, doesn't play a lot, you just kind of look at maybe a person who's...
Pay no attention to me. Just talk.
I was just wondering what you're doing.
I'll tell you in a minute. So there are 4 names on the roster in the running back room, but you also mentioned Edmonds, Gunn, any others, so that's 6. Any mo?
There's a few walk-ons, but nobody substantial.
Okay. Igoe, how about recruiting-wise? So last week you dropped a bombshell on us that East Carolina only have, did you say like 8 scholarships?
They're projecting 8 to 10, but
that number fluctuates.
They now have 4 commitments. They're welcoming in 10 official visitors this weekend, so they could take like 12, maybe.
4 commits. Last week it was 0, right?
Now they've got 4.
Wow. I
Maybe
hope
you
you're
should follow recruiting.
I don't know.
This is why we get paid.
Who?
You.
Me?
You get paid to talk about what's happening. What's happening is 4 commitments. And I get paid to cover it.
Okay.
And then here we are. You don't even know what's happening.
Look, man.
You're too busy living in the past talking about Chris Johnson and all these dudes. Like, let's talk about the next Chris Johnson.
Yeah, but do you remember that run that Norman Whitley had with his
like 14
dreadlocks
years ago,
flapping in the wind?
In the Liberty Bowl.
And I saw him at Chick-fil-A. All right. So any backs being recruited right now? Anybody to look out for? Any one of those commits running back?
No. But Traylon Mitchell, I think his name is Trelon, he's from Southern Durham. Southern Nash, not Southern Durham. So he's got an offer from ECU. He visited this past week. He's kind of an athlete type, but they want him at running back. And he's a track guy, fast. He's a burner. Really liked his visit to East Carolina University. Close maybe to committing, but now he's going to visit Virginia Tech this coming weekend. So we'll see what happens there. Southern Nash is an interesting spot. I feel like a lot of those guys in the past have favored the ACC, despite ECU being really close on a number of them. So we'll see what happens, but it's kind of a triple option offense he plays in, so he's kind of hard to project where he's going to fit best, but they do like him at running back, and he'd be a big add. I mean, good size, good speed, and you could add another speedy Mitchell to the backfield.
Good stuff. Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors, joining us. Make sure you are subscribed and become a VIP subscriber. Great VIP chat earlier this week that I really enjoyed, and had a lot of good nuggets there. And Igoe, when you said that he's an athlete, but they want him at running back, you know what that reminded me of? Recruiting on NCAA football, and there's a lot of news about it coming back. Yeah. I know you're doing all these adult things, but are you going to have some time in your life?
100%.
Okay. All right.
I'll make time, even if I have to stay up till like 1 a.m. after everybody's asleep to play. I'm going to play, and I'm going to be recruiting those athletes, and I'm going to be
lying to them.
Yeah, and I'll end up with like 7 5-star athletes, and I think they can all play all over, and it turns out they can all only play receiver.
Yeah.
So then I'll have like 18 scholarship receivers, and all of them are 95 overall and above, and I can't play them all. That's the most frustrating thing.
Yep, that happens. I wonder if they're going to introduce the portal into this.
I mean, I feel like you got to.
Yeah, right? That could be fun.
I think the whole thing will be. I mean, there's so many directions they could go.
Yeah.
Portal.
NIL,
conference expansion, which they did in the last version of the game, but even more so now.
Stephen, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me, Clipster.
Bye. We will take a time out, come back. More to go. Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday.
Good job, Chandler. Thanks.
U.S. Cellular.
Yeah, hi. I want a new phone for free, but not just any phone. I want the newest, fastest, most storage holding 5G unlimited data using phone in here for free.
Sure, your choice.
Really?
Yep.
At U.S. Cellular, we put you first. So choose any phone from any brand free. Plus, get unlimited data for just $30 a month. U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for U.S. Cellular since 1997. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
Hey Pirate fans, this is Cliff Godwin. Summer is upon us, and I want to invite you to attend our CG23 Youth Camp here at East Carolina University. We will offer 3 sessions of camp. All camps will be held at Clark LeClaire Stadium, and campers will get baseball instruction from the ECU baseball staff and players. Campers will play games each day, and each camp ends with our famous Pirate Slip and Slide. Full day and half day sessions offered. For more information, visit cliffgodwinbaseballcamp.com. See you there, and go Pirates!
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank in your corner when you need them. This is former ECU baseball player Ashley Capps from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Bonner Latham, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business today, come and see someone on our team at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard here in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Avoid the long check-in lines and congestion at the big airports and fly local at PGV. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has more American Airlines flights. Book today at aa.com. PGV, where the pirates fly.
Before you hit the road this travel season, be sure to get your tires inspected by the tire guys at Greenville Auto World. The Greenville Auto World service team sells all the top brands and economy tires if you need a new set. Need an oil change, state inspection, or AC repair? Greenville Auto World can work on any type of vehicle, and the monthly oil change special is only $29.99. Make an appointment now by calling 364-8730. For award-winning service, trust Greenville Auto World.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Your office deserves a proactive tech support approach instead of always reacting to issues after the damage is done. You need BizCare. BizCare tech support and cybersecurity plans keep you ahead of potential issues and much safer from cyber threats like ransomware. What's at your office? Call William today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar MediSpa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations available. Visit us at beautybarmedispa.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Alrighty, welcome back to the program. Did you miss the show on Pirate Radio? Did you happen to miss today's edition of Pirate Radio Live? Then listen to all of Pirate Radio's archived local programming by subscribing to us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or Spotify. Subscribe today by going to the podcast app on your iPhone or Apple device and search for Pirate Radio Audio Archives. And now, with a stock market report, here is Wes Hines.
Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 47 points at 30,483. The NASDAQ was 11,053. That's down 16. And the S&P 500 was down 5 at 3,760. On your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report for a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. Now back to Pirate Radio Live. Here is Cliff Rock.
All right. I have enjoyed my time with the brethren this week, Wes Hines and Chandler Honeycutt. We'll do it one more day on Thursday, which will include Are You Smarter Than Wes? Wes Hines one-on-one against Chandler Honeycutt. A battle of the brains coming up on Thursday. Really looking forward to that. Also, we will talk to Chris Haymeyer, voice of the Campbell Fighting Camels, to preview the 2022 Campbell football squad that'll come in here to Dowdy Ficklin Stadium this fall. And also Ryan Meadows will join us on the program. We'll give you an update on Pitt County Post 39, talk some area baseball. That and a lot more coming up on Thursday's edition of Pirate Radio Live. So we'll see you then Thursday at 3 for Wes Hines, Chan Man, the crew here at Pirate Radio. I'm Cliff Brock. So long, everybody.